Here comes your pre-market summary for Friday, February 10th. Futures back to the downside this morning, extending declines that we saw yesterday right across the board after gapping to the upside initially yesterday morning. Market essentially sells off all day long, not helped by an afternoon bond auction for 30-year notes that produce less demand than expected, a typical sign of the possibility of a recession in the future. That had yields back to the upside, and that, of course, puts pressure back on some of the tech shares. Here's how futures are setting up right now. S&P 0.73 back to the downside, 1.15 already for the NASDAQ, leading the way so far, 0.43 for the Dow. Pretty red, though, top to bottom here. Big move up in crude this morning after Russia said it will cut output going forward. So we had a big spike in oil futures, some of the accompanying oil stocks back to the upside pre-market as well. 0.5% basically for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's how things are setting up on the daily chart. We're testing this uptrend. A few people I noticed online even this morning saying we've broken this uptrend for the S&P 500. The Qs, on the other hand, looking a little better, but still coming into key areas where we need to find some buyers once again for the overall market. Yeah, LYFT on everyone's mind. Pretty rough forecast, pretty rough report, really. Right across the board for LYFT, down big time this morning, 30+% for LYFT shares right now to the downside after a huge move after the close yesterday following that report. We'll talk about PayPal coming up as well. Warning of more pressure on discretionary spending. That could pressure their bottom line back to the downside right now. Anyways, for PayPal, the initial move after the report was higher. Chinese ADRs back on watch here as well. More U.S.-China tensions coming through, pressuring this entire group this morning. They're gapping down anywhere from 2.5% to 3.5% across the board. Some of the chip makers showing a little weakness here, including Micron. They announced more cost-cutting measures, including some of their executives taking a pay cut after the close yesterday. AMD, meanwhile, a positive analyst note pointing to the fact that they've taken nearly a third of the processor market across the board. So AMD could be one to watch to the upside if the market does catch a bounce. We went down, first of all, at the end of last year for prices on the Model Y in China. Tesla right back to the upside this morning, raising prices once again over there. And this little one, HILS on watch, little biopharma back to the upside on some positive cancer news this morning. Grab the watch list, guys. Use that QR code on screen right now. We're coming up at 8:30. We'll be live 10 o'clock this morning. Could be an interesting one. We get Michigan sentiment. There's an inflation portion to that number as well. So we'll watch that closely. See you shortly on TraderTV.Live.